Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and the Degenerates. I am Enzo, this is my forever co-host Jump. Today we talk about the First Avenger, since Captain America Brave New World comes out Valentine's Day. Next month. So we talk about the first Captain America, which I don't know if you know this, but in foreign countries it was just called the First Avenger because people were like, I'm not watching something called Captain America.
I might agree.
Yeah.
No, but it is weird though, because him and like Bucky are like my favorite Avengers.
Yeah.
In the roster of like this era.
But like back then, I didn't know how to feel about. I knew how I felt about Captain America, which is like he's so cheesy. Like he wears the U.S. flag, like his entire costume is the U.S. flag. I felt the same way about Superman, but like the Winter Soldier and Man of Steel changed my mind on those heroes. But like for this one, I was like, I don't know if I'm really excited back then in 2011. It took a while for me to realize it was the Human Torch as well from the Fantastic Four movies. I was like, whoa. No way.
Yeah. Seeing Chris Evans, he just fits the role very well.
Yeah.
And like seeing him for the first time, I was just like, you know what? This is what I pictured Captain America to be.
Yeah.
And like, in my opinion, I do like it that yes, it is set in World War II, which is the golden age of America or something like that. I don't know. Where you kind of know what's bad from good. Clearly, everybody has that like black and white kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Which is why I like Captain America's fuse gets cued once he gets to like Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Where like I thought we're supposed to be the good guys, but anyway, we're talking about the first movie. I like that we're set here and we're kind of set the standards of what Captain America kind of stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah. You genuinely, and they make it apparent that he is incorruptible. He is a genuinely good person, or else this serum doesn't fucking work.
Yeah.
I love that they're like, hey, I know it's a bit of a cop-out, but like, to make sure that you know this guy is the good guy. Like, they're like, hey, the serum wouldn't work well
if you're bad.
If there's like a hint of like bad intentions in you, it's not gonna go well.
I mean, if you're someone like Johann Schmidt here, you turn into the Red Skull. Unlike these two are the standouts, Chris Evans and Hugo Weaving as the opposing sides, one being incorruptible and one being absolutely evil. Like, it's a shame Hugo Weaving never ever reprised his role as Red Skull, because I think he is perfect for the role. Like, watching him for this video, I was like, I forget how great you are as Red Skull. Like, it's only until like, how long ago was the Endgame from there? 8 years later.
That wasn't Hugo Weaving.
Right, that was someone else.
Yeah. But he did a really good job, like, like impersonating his Red Skull character. But like, I do agree. Hugo Weaving was such a good bad guy.
Yeah,
I really wish he stayed longer. Like, come on. I will say another character that like I was kind of surprised and sorry I kind of forgot about was Stanley Tucci's character.
Oh yeah, Dr. Abraham. I forgot he was here. Like, there's a lot of people I forget that are here. Like, I forgot that Tommy Lee Jones was a sergeant for a while. I was like, all right, you're in the MCU for a tiny bit, and he was a standout. Of course, we get the starts of like Sebastian Stan as Bucky and Haley Atwell as Agent Carter. Like, Agent Carter's always in the what ifs of Marvels. Like, we need an alternate Captain America. We have Agent Carter. We need an alternate something. We have Agent Carter. And you're like, how long are you gonna keep Haley Atwell around, man?
Like if you really want her to be in like the MCU that bad, like I would have loved to have seen like maybe like the 1950s, 1960s era of Marvel.
Yeah.
Which is what I think they're kind of doing with the Fantastic Four, but
but it's not in this universe. It's a separate universe.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I guess they could still get Haley Atwell, but like,
yeah, definitely. I mean, in that universe, Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom, so why not? But yeah, I do like the point that you said that this World War II is not just a backdrop; it is integrated well into the plot. Like, you see how history unfolds, and you see like the Easter eggs, like even Captain America punching Hitler, like that famous comic shot, and you're like, oh, that's a nice way to integrate it.
I really miss this era of Marvel because we got such good movies out of it. Again, like Captain America, Winter Soldier, The Incredible Hulk, and like Iron Man.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, they didn't really like fully show you like it's Marvel-esque.
Yeah.
Like, watching these movies, I kind of forgot I was watching a Marvel movie.
Right? Like there's no, you're free of that stigma of like I am expecting this and this from an MCU movie. Like I did rewatch like the later movies after this because I'm like, how do these fare to like the later ones? I watched Shang-Chi and Eternals. I'm like there's this stigma already here in the early days of the MCU. It's like the little engine that could, you're rooting for this whole universe to work, because we're jumping way ahead, but like the end credits is the Avengers, and you're like, that's fucking insane what you're trying to do.
And I'm just saying this, like, it's not a novelty.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, oh, back in the day things were just better. It's not in a novelty-esque way. I'm saying the writing was better, build-up was better. You don't get thrown a funny haha just for the sake of having a funny haha.
Yeah.
Like building up to it, like, yeah, Captain America was a pretty scrawny guy, and then he kind of has to build his own confidence, but you see that there is a spark in him, like when he catches the grenade, when everybody else just fled. And like it builds up his character, and like pacing, writing, I say was done very well here. Again, if you want like a breath of fresh air from like the Marvel-esque movies, just go back a bit in time, watch the earlier Marvel movies, because I was like, why are these written way better compared to what we have now?
Yeah, it's crazy that this is like, what, 12 years ago? Like, it's a decade old and it still holds the fuck up, like, better than the more recent MCU movies. I do love even the action here, too, when they invade, when Captain America invades the base for the first time to rescue Bucky. Like, the action is pretty great when they get free. All the soldiers, the commandos are free, and they start shooting up Hydra. And like it leads to that confrontation between him and the Red Skull, where Red Skull reveals his face. And talking about humor, there's a moment where Bucky's like, "Can you do that?" Because he can do that. Why can't you?
It's just subtle. The comedy's subtle. Like you kind of like, I gotta hope not. You know, like,
right. Even stuff like when they threw the grenade and Steve catches it, and then they're like, "See, he's worthy," and then Chester, Tommy Lee Jones catcher's like, yeah, but he's still skinny, and they're like, fine, be that way. But yeah, I do love like the scene when that montage of them fighting Hydra, that opening scene where it's just Cap. It's rare to see like someone incorruptible as Captain America's charging in with his shield and like a 45 pistol. I'm like, damn, that's a sight.
I kind of wish they kept it, because after that they were like, you know, I don't think I like Captain America using a gun. You know, like, he just strictly stuck with a shield. Like, just imagine how effective Cap would have been in the 21st century with like an M16 and the shield on hand.
I mean, we've seen how great he is with a gun. Like, the few times he had to use it, you're like, yeah, he still has it, you know? But yeah, it's, again, that whole montage, I'm like, you don't really see things like this in the MCU anymore. It feels more like a factory machine, like copy and paste and just put it out there. Here it feels like they really took their time developing Captain America, the story, and how even the side characters, like when Bucky dies for the first time. I remember watching it for the first time and being like, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck is Steve going to do now? Why?
Yeah. And like, yeah, I do love that scene where he's like at the rundown bar.
Yeah.
He's like drinking his sorrows away, but the thing is, the super serum is too strong that he can't get drunk.
Yeah.
So he's just in pain the whole time. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. I do love the chemistry between Chris Evans and Harry Atwell. Like, it really shows, and like it still works until like up to Endgame, and you're like, yeah, I still buy it. They've never lost a touch. But yeah, another part that's subtle humor or like has subtle humors when Cap is trying to go to Red Skull's ship, and then he kisses Agent Carter, and then Tommy Lee Jones is like, "I'm not kissing you, go."
Again, just subtle.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's such a good scene. I love the entire scene when they raid the base. Like, well, like the James Bond-esque
yeah,
kind of secret base on the side of a mountain.
yeah.
And they have, like, I guess, nuclear warheads?
I guess fueled by the Tesseract, and you're like, that's just ungodly power you have right there. I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about the last fight when like Red Skull just touches the Tesseract and he just goes away. It's a nice fight, and like it just ends with his hubris, and I'm like, oh right, I forgot about that. Oh dang.
I don't mind it because they were trying to build up to something, and I'm like, cool. Like,
Yeah.
I know that, like, I'm pretty sure that they knew that they were like, oh, this is not the end for Red Skull, but sadly, he just happens to be just a puff of smoke at the end of Endgame, but okay.
Yeah, it's the end of Hugo Weaving's role, and you're like, ah damn, I really liked you as this character.
Yeah, but then again, like, it's fine. But yeah, and we kind of get that one sacrifice, which I like. Again, I love it that Marvel had that whole like bittersweet ending where he's like he saves the day, but then he gets entrapped in Nice like for 70 years,
Yeah,
and the man had a date, and I'm like, damn it.
yeah. Oh, speaking of other side characters for a bit, I forgot how to mention that Dominic Cooper as Howard Stark is pretty great as well. I like him.
Like I kind of believe that he is Howard Stark.
Yeah.
No.
Also for Armin Zola, Toby Jones, I forget this man was Dobby for most of my life, and now he's Armin Zola. But yeah, I do like that bittersweet sacrifice, especially when Nick Fury is like, everything alright, Cap? And he's like, I had a date. And it just ends, and you're like, oh dang.
Yeah. I hated that one scene where it's just a little bit sleazy, where it's just like, hey, we're putting you in the fake 1945, like era,
Yeah.
like in a box.
Yeah.
I was like, how are you gonna like suddenly tell him that he's been asleep for 70 years?
Right? Like, how are you gonna give it to him slowly that he's not overwhelmed? But it doesn't work anyway. And then the end credits is the Avengers, and like back in the day again, I was like, oh my god, everybody's coming together. Like that scene of Thor and Robert. I didn't see the first Thor when I saw Captain America 1, so but I knew who
Really?
Thor was. Yeah, but
Okay.
seeing them together in the same room, I was like, it's actually happening. Jesus Christ, holy shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Everybody was going crazy because, like, come on, we always had like movies where it's just like it's a separate story.
yeah,
They never come together, but they have been like teasing it for a while.
yeah,
Like Nick Fury coming into Tony Stark's room in like the first Iron Man movie,
yeah.
and then you see Tony Stark going to like Thunderbolt Ross at the end of Incredible Hulk. I'm like,
Right?
what's happening here?
Like, even though, in my opinion, the first Avengers doesn't really hold up all that well in terms of like plot and stuff, but like the novelty of it is still there. It's just like, I can't believe this worked. It's like back in our day, we never had Tobey Maguire meet with like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Like, our minds would be blown. Yeah, but
Yeah.
now we get all of our favorite celebrities being our favorite heroes together, and you're like, that novelty is still there, and I think that's the strength of the first Avengers movie overall, and this whole era is why it still holds up.
Yeah, watching it for the first time was a spectacle. It was like everybody kind of just banded together and just agreed like this is what we were gonna watch this weekend.
Yeah,
Yes, rewatching it does drag. It is a little bit meh compared to the other. In my opinion, I like Age of Ultron more than the first Avengers movie.
Yeah,
But other than that, yeah, seeing Captain America, kind of like the Trinity just like coming together
yeah,
was kind of cool
yeah,
to see, like build up to. Well, 4 movies, like Thor, Hulk, Captain America, and Iron Man.
yeah. Well, 5 if you count Iron Man 2.
Sure.
I mean, that's where we get our first glance of Black Widow by Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, what would you rate Captain America: The First Avenger?
I don't have a lot of gripes for this movie.
Same.
Like it's not a perfect movie, but at the same time, it's, I don't know. It had style. It had substance. It wasn't a drag to watch. You know, you like again. I was not gonna like rewatching it for this review. I was kind of like a little hesitant because yes, the stigma was there. But when I rewatched it, I was like, I just felt like I was watching Band of Brothers for a bit. I'm like, wait a minute, right? This is a superhero movie.
Yeah. Like, who's this crazy Marine with a shield? Why is he going into battle with just a shield and a Glock? What kind of strategy is that?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think they had Glocks back in the day, but like.
Sorry, 45 Browning.
I don't fucking know. But anyway, yeah. In my opinion, I would say this is one of like the really good ones.
Yeah.
Out of Marvel, and I'll give it a pretty good score of a 9 out of 10. You know, I don't think it's a perfect movie. For sure, there's some like, yeah, I agree. Like the Red Skull fight is a little lackluster.
Yeah.
But everything else was kind of just like, you know what, I'm content.
Yeah.
Know? Especially knowing what's gonna happen next, which is the Winter Soldier. I was like, which is my favorite trilogy. I'm like, yeah. You know what? Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I'm feeling it too. 9 out of 10. I don't have any gripes with this movie aside from the fight and the fact that Red Skull is not here a lot, which is a shame because he is the opposite end of Captain America. Which I'm like, man, as Hugo Weaving in another franchise movie that you just use once, and I think the contract fell apart, and you're like, it's a shame it falls apart. It's like the other actor we're about to talk about for the next lineup. We're like, I wish you stayed.
Same here.
Yeah.
Oh lord, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. And like, yeah, the novelty of Phase 1 and 2 still is there. Like, even though there are movies that I'm not a fan of, like Iron Man 2 and like definitely Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I don't think it was novelty. You know, like sometimes like, oh, you just like it because it's just for the sake of like it was the first ones that came out. I like it because, in my opinion, the writing was way better, the acting was way better, the pacing was way better.
Yeah, it was still the studio where you're like, I don't know if you can do this, but if you do it, then holy fuck, you have accomplished something great. And like all the way until Endgame, they held this standard of like, even though it's not the greatest movie, it's still a hell of a lot of fun. And then somewhere after the pandemic, they were like, it's just part of the Disney factory now, and you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, it's like cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste. Yeah.
I mean, at least with Eternals, they tried to do something original until the end, and you're like, here's the cut and paste. Yeah. Same with Shang-Chi, same with especially Black Widow, but that's neither here or there for this video. But yeah, pretty good movie, and like, I agree with you, it's one of the best MCU trilogies, maybe next to Spider-Man and Guardians. I can't think of anything else that's a trilogy.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it might be second to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. I really can't think of other trilogies because Iron Man's like lackluster aside from the first one, and Thor is just lackluster until the last one, and you're like, damn, that's rough. But anything else to add before we close this?
No, close us off, mate.
Alright, that's been our video for Captain America: The First Avenger. What do you guys think? What's your favorite MCU movie from Phase 1? Is it this, Iron Man 1, Thor 1? The next video we're about to do? Whatever it is, comment down below. If you like what you see here, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Spotify to hear us on the go. Individually, Zoda's voices on TikTok and Enswolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at JohnJoM_ on Instagram. It is my account.
And until the next one, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.